Alright guys, my name is MetaGoblin and today I'm going to be teaching you how to completely modernize Morrowind for 2017, although I did make this video in December so it's very applicable for 2018. This video is primarily about gameplay changes, gameplay fixes, and it's not really about graphics. I will have a video about graphics coming out very soon, but we're just going to mostly focus on modernizing the game and making it actually playable in a more up-to-date for a more up-to-date contemporary audience. So one of the main problems with people trying to get into Morrowind, in today's world, is that the game is very old school. It's very archaic in a way because it's more in tune with the old school RPG kind of dynamic where you have to roll dice. Even though you're playing a game where you're smacking people with a sword, everything is based on a dice roll. For instance, you go into the game and you start whacking someone with your sword, well, there's a chance that you're going to miss, even though you can very clearly see that the sword went into your enemy, you are somehow missing. And if you're not used to that gameplay, basically, if you're not someone probably in their late 20s, because, Morrowind is a very old game, you can, I find, like me, we find it frustrating, it's kind of irritating, it's kind of just not fun. Well, to some people it might be, some people it not, but for the majority of in our post-smartphone culture, I don't think it's fun to most people. So anyway, we're going to fix all these problems with mods. We've got a mod where every time you swing a sword, it will hit the enemy you're hitting, but the damage you do will be variable. We got mods which add fast travel. In Morrowind, your health and regeneration, health and magicka don't regenerate passively. You have to rest for them to regenerate. We're going to be fixing that so that your health and magicka regenerate over time. In Morrowind, sometimes you can't even cast spells. Like there's a chance that you won't be able to cast a spell. We're going to be removing that. Just before we jump in, guys, if you do end up liking the video, then please do throw me a like because it really helps out. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my next video where I'm going to be transforming Skyrim into World of Warcraft. So anyway, let's just jump in. First thing you want to get is the Morrowind code patch. It's a big kind of program. It's a utility program which you just put into your Morrowind directory, and it will add a number of bug fixes, but the main thing is it will add a number of modernization changes. For instance, the toggle sneak fix. Basically in Morrowind you had to kind of hold down the sneak key for to go into sneak. This just removes that. Adds a swift casting feature, because in Morrowind you had to kind of you had two different modes. So you had your combat mode, or you had your melee, you had your sword mode, I guess, and then you had to switch to your casting mode where you hold your hands out and then you'd cast spells by clicking. This just kind of fixes that so that you just have to press the keybind for the spell and then you cast it, basically just how Morrowind and Skyrim works. Another thing, for instance, is a racial variation speed fix. Depending on which race you picked, it would depend on how tall you were, which also depended on how fast you were, because basically the taller the character model, the faster you can actually run. So it just fixes little niche, irritating things like that. The first mod we have on this list is the Oblivion-like combat tweaks. You are basically, every time you swing your sword, you're guaranteed to hit someone and actually do damage, but the damage you do is variable on a dice roll, so you could do 7 to 10 damage depending on what weapon you're using. The other thing to note about this mod is it also means that all the NPCs and all the creatures and monsters in the game will also have a guaranteed chance to hit you, so be very wary of that. This mod is actually out of the loop, but someone's archived it. There is a link, there'll be a good link in the description, but you can't find this on a mod website. The link is fine, it's not dodgy or anything, but someone's archived it on a download site. So, but tell me, put a comment in the description, in the comment section, if the mod is if that link no longer works now. I'll just add one of my own. I'll just make my own Google Drive link. So anyway, let's carry on. Second mod we have is Andromeda's fast travel. When you basically, there's no fast travel in Morrowind. You had to go on silk striders, you had to take boats and balloons and all that kind of stuff. When you walk up to a sign, when you ever see a sign in the game, normally you will see it basically tell you where you're going to go if you carry on going down the road. And if you go up to a sign and activate it, you'll basically just fast travel to that location. You just get a little bit of a loading bar and you're basically there. But one thing to note about this mod is it's kind of incompatible with graphical the changes to the signposts, so be wary of that. It says it's compatible with the mod real signposts. You'll find all the information. The third mod, well, fourth mod, well, no, it is actually the third mod, sorry, because the first one's technically a utility program. But anyway, the third mod we have is called Fun Gameplay Tweaks. It adds basically health from mana regeneration, so you don't need to rest all the time. You just out of combat, you will regenerate your health and mana. It also affects fatigue majorly, so the fatigue doesn't reduce when you walk or sneak, you know, because that actually happened in the vanilla game. And the fatigue, how much fatigue you consume when you run or jump, has been cut in half. Because sometimes you want to jump about, increase your acrobatic skill, and then you jump about to your next location, and then you'll bump into combat, and you've got like no fatigue, and then you just start getting rinsed. Especially if you're against someone with hand to hand, you just get punched and kicked on the floor and stuff. And it also fixes the run speed issue, because I mean run speed in Morrowind is just terrible. Even if you bump up your speed to 100, like I'll give an example here. Like, you're still going obscenely slow, which is really irritating, but basically this mod makes you run about 50% faster, so I quite like that. Fourth mod is very self-explanatory. It's called Always Cast mod. In Morrowind you had a chance to fail casting even when you had kind of high magicka and high skill. For instance, I mean, like, at the moment in my game, I think I've got like roughly about 30 skill and restoration, got quite a decent amount of magicka, and I have about a 40% chance to actually cast a spell. It's kind of really irritating. This will just remove that irritating nonsense. Next we have Lenora's leveling mod. The leveling in Morrowind is, I don't even have a time in this video to thoroughly explain it. There's videos out there which are like half an hour long explaining a Morrowind leveling system. But basically it's a lot like Oblivion in ways. It's kind of like irritating because you had to increase a certain amount of skills a certain amount of times to maximize your attribute point advantage whenever you leveled up. So you'd have to level a minor skill that complemented endurance, for instance armor. You had to level your armor skill about 10 times to get your +5 endurance when you leveled up, and it was just irritating because it meant you have to power level. You had to spend like loads and loads of times leveling skills that you never really used just to maximize your attribute like advantage. So this just kind of removes that. Basically with this mod all you have to do is add like one skill. For instance, you got long blade skill, so you do add one skill in long blade, and then it'll automatically give you the +5 advantage in strength when you level up. So this just kind of gets rid of that irritating need to power level in Morrowind. So anyway, that is the end of this video, guys. Right now on the screen, you're probably all very soon, you're probably going to see videos very similar to this one. Definitely appreciate you checking them out. My name is the Metagoblin. Until my next video, ciao.